Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Laura Train Mama. Today we are having a look at the 5th storybook contained within the Thomas and Friends Friendship Collection. It's 2 stories in one storybook, which I actually quite like for a change, something a bit different. So we're going to start today by looking at this story, which is called Thomas in Africa. Enjoy. One sunny day on the island of Sodor, Thomas the tank engine met a race car named Ace. He was in a round-the-world rally, speeding through 5 continents. That's so exciting, Thomas peeped. I've always wanted to see the world. You should do it, replied Ace. You could be the first railway engine to go all the way around the world. The next day, Thomas and Ace set sail for the first continent, Africa. After that, they would go on to South America, North America, Asia, and finally back to Sodor through Europe. When they arrived in Africa, Ace sped off without Thomas. He was headed to a distant city called Dar es Salaam in Tanzania. Ace could go wherever he wanted to, but Thomas had to stick to the rails. A yard manager gave Thomas lots of trucks to be delivered to the faraway city. The little engine set off all by himself. As Thomas passed through stations, he was given more cars to pull. It was hard work. The hills were big. Luckily, Thomas met an engine named Nia, who offered to help. 2 engines are much better than 1, she peeped. Thomas replied that he didn't need help. But Thomas did need help. The cars were too heavy for him to pull alone. Nia didn't go away. She stayed with Thomas and helped him with his heavy cars. And when a giant elephant blocked the tracks, she and the trucks sang a lullaby. The elephant wandered off to nap beneath a tree. Nia stayed with Thomas all the way to Dar es Salaam. Okay, everybody, Thomas peeped. Keep your eyes open for my friend Ace. Kwaku, a giant engine friend of Nia's, said he'd seen a group of race cars, but they're all gone now. Ace must have left without me again, said Thomas. Nia said. He doesn't sound like a very good friend. Thomas knew the next stop in Ace's race was Rio de Janeiro, in South America. I'll just find a ship and go there by myself, wherever that is. Nia asked if she could help Thomas, but he told her to go home. Then he steamed to the docks and was loaded onto a ship. He continued on his big adventure all alone. When the ship was at sea, Thomas made 2 discoveries. The first was that Nia was on the ship. She wanted to travel with him and be the second engine to go around the world. The other surprise was Ace was on board. Why didn't you wait for me? Thomas asked the yellow race car. You want to be a free spirit, don't you? Ace replied. You don't want someone else telling you what to do. You want to have fun. When they reached South America, Ace fueled up and left Thomas alone yet again. What will happen to Thomas now? Turn the book over to read the rest of this exciting story. Let's do that now, shall we? Story 2. Friends Around the World. Thomas had to find a way to follow Ace around South America to the next rally in North America. Luckily, a railway worker needed Thomas to carry coffee all the way to San Francisco in the United States. We can take this coffee together, Nia said. The engine steamed through the rainforest, pulling the heavy load. On the way, they found Ace. He had had an accident, so they loaded him up and gave him a ride. They continued on their journey. Then there was trouble. Thomas ran out of water, but clever Nia thought to use the forest's giant leaves to collect rainwater for his tank. Nia had saved the day. When they reached North America, Ace didn't want to go to San Francisco. He wanted Thomas to take him to the salt flats in Utah so he could get repaired and meet the other racers. Ace convinced Thomas to play a trick on Nia, and they sped off without her. Ace told Thomas to go faster and faster as they raced across the western lands. Don't slow down, mate. Let yourself go. Thomas went so fast he came off the track. Luckily, an old mining engine named Bo, a cowgirl, and some cowboys got him back on the rails. As everyone worked together to get help, Thomas realised he'd done a terrible thing to Nia. We should have stayed with her, he peeped. It wasn't nice to play a trick on her. At the salt flats, Ace met up with the other racers, but Thomas didn't continue the race. He wanted to deliver his coffee and find Nia to apologise. He steamed on to San Francisco with his load. Unfortunately, Nia was nowhere to be found. Thomas hoped he could find her at the next stop, across the Pacific Ocean in China. Thomas did find Nia on a snowy mountain in China. "I'm sorry. I wish I hadn't upset you. Can we still be friends?" he peeped. But before Nia could respond, an avalanche sent snow tumbling towards the engines. It blocked the way and sent Nia sliding off the track. Thomas was too small to pull her back onto the rails by himself. Just then, a Chinese engine named Yongbao came crashing through the snow. He had a big plough to clear the way and was strong enough to pull both engines to safety. "Good thing I came along when I did," Yongbao said with a laugh. Thomas and Nia thanked Yongbao for his help. "I'm just glad you're bigger and stronger than I am," peeped Thomas. "We're bigger and stronger too when we work together," said Nia. "So, where are you going now?" asked Yongbao. "Continent number 5, Europe," chorused Thomas and Nia. Thomas and Nia made one more long journey all the way through Europe to the island of Sodor. "This is my friend Nia," Thomas peeped as he introduced her to Emily, Percy, James, Henry, Edward and Gordon. His friends steamed with happiness to see the two engines who had travelled around the world together. That brings us to the end of storybook number 5. What did you think? Let me know and have a great day.